Right. Turning now to Nick Lyon, Michigan's health director. He'll go to trial on involuntary manslaughter charges stemming from the Flint Water Crisis. He's being accused of not warning the public about an outbreak of legionnaires' disease. The death of 2 men are being blamed for that outbreak, and Lyon has said he knew about legionnaires' cases being reported a full year before the outbreak was announced. Governor Snyder says Lyon will stay on the job through the trial. Let me start with you, Stephen. Do you think he should be staying on the job through the trial?
No, nobody gets to do that. I mean, this is a very serious charge. It is a criminal charge. He would serve quite a bit of time in prison if he's convicted. That alone should be enough for the governor to say, let's wait to see how this turns out, and you go do something else in the meantime. Not to mention just the distraction from his job, which was part of the problem anyway, right? He probably was distracted from the importance of notifying people about this Legionnaires outbreak. I mean, I have had my reservations about the criminal element of this investigation and the way that the Attorney General has done this. There are things I think probably should not have happened, and we could debate the merits all day of whether you'd pick one person like Nick Lyons and sort of put it all in his lap, but that's now for the jury to decide. And as long as that's true, he should not be running the health department of the state.
I think it's really interesting too, Nolan, that we had an 8-month preliminary exam, which is a really long process, and it can only make you wonder how long this trial is going to be, or do we pretty much see how this is going to shape up in the arguments?
The governor's keeping him on board because he's mad as hell that he was ever prosecuted, and he's taken this very personal. I think in a normal situation, that's exactly what he'd do. He'd say, step aside. We might even suspend you with pay or remove you from your job with pay. But this is very personal to him. He feels like he's being tried by proxy here. It's going to be a very complicated trial for one reason, I think, is because you look at the charge against Nick Lyon, he failed to warn people about the danger of the water in terms of the Legionnaires' disease, but no connection has yet been drawn in court between the Legionnaires' disease and that water. It's a speculative connection at this point, but they have not established conclusively that the water caused the Legionnaires' disease, and in that case, how do you convict Nick Lyon of manslaughter?
The thing that points to the water is the rarity of Legionnaires more generally.
This was
a spike in cases up to 90 cases.
But that has not been established.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have a hard time.
They haven't
The
yet.
Science won't be difficult to sort of connect here.
They've had 8 months and they didn't do it.
His best hope is that a jury feels that it's unfair to single him out among
one person out of an entire
the facts here are not on his side.
All right. Well, go ahead, Nolan. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, again, if Rick Snyder's still in office when that trial goes forward and a conviction comes down, he won't serve a day in jail. Rick Snyder will not let him go to jail. He'll pardon him.
Yeah, that would be really dangerous for the Republican side of the ticket if that happened before the election.
Well, it won't happen before the election.
I was just going to say this: if it was an 8-month preliminary exam, you're going to be looking at a much longer trial.